You walk into a room and the lights seem to get brighter. You smile and it looks so genuine that even you almost believe it. You ask everyone else how they are doing. You listen to their stories, their complaints, and their small tragedies. You offer advice that is wise and grounded. You laugh at the right moments, a sound that comes from your throat but not your chest. You are the rock, the anchor, the stable force in a chaotic world. But when the door closes and the lock clicks, the performance ends. The muscles in your face drop, heavy with the exhaustion of holding up a mask for 12 hours. You sit in the silence of your car or your bedroom, and you feel the weight of the ocean crashing down on you. There is a scream trapped somewhere behind your ribs that you have learned to swallow. You are suffering, but you are suffering in a silence so absolute that it feels like a physical cage. This is the psychology of the hidden wound. You are the person who hides pain not because you want to lie, but because you have learned that the truth is dangerous. You have become a master architect of your own fortress. To the outside world, you are a picture of resilience. People might even envy how well you handle stress. They say things like, "I don't know how you do it," or "You are so strong." And every time they say it, you feel a sharp pang of guilt. Because you know that this strength is not a gift. It is a survival mechanism. You are not strong because you want to be. You are strong because you feel you have no other choice. Let's look at where this begins, back before the mask was fused to your skin. For many of you, the hiding started in childhood. Perhaps you grew up in a home where emotions were treated as inconveniences. Maybe you cried once and were told to stop making a scene. Maybe you saw your parents crumbling under their own burdens and you decided you couldn't add to the load. You looked at the adults around you and realised they were too fragile to hold your pain. So you made a silent vow to be the easy one. You learned to metabolize your sadness into silence. You learned that being good meant being invisible. You learned that love was conditional on your ability to be okay. If you were happy, you were accepted. If you were sad, you were a problem to be solved, or worse, ignored. So you began the long, exhausting career of performance. You learned to disconnect from your own body. This is a psychological state known as dissociation or compartmentalization. It is the ability to take a devastating feeling, put it in a box, tape it shut, and shove it into the back of your mind. You do this so effectively that sometimes you don't even realize you are doing it. You might feel a wave of grief, and within seconds your brain says, "Not now," and the feeling vanishes. But feelings do not actually vanish. They just go underground. They sink into your tissues, your muscles, your nervous system. This is why you might suffer from mysterious headaches, or back pain, or stomach issues. Your body is screaming the words that your mouth refuses to speak. The body always keeps the score, and right now, your body is losing the game. Let's talk about the specific tools you use to hide. One of the most common tools is humor. You are likely very funny. Wit is an incredible shield. If you can make a joke about your trauma, you don't have to feel it. If you can make people laugh, they won't look too closely at your eyes. You use self-deprecation as a way to control the narrative. You insult yourself before anyone else can. You turn your pain into a punchline because a punchline is easier to digest than a tragedy. Another tool you use is intellectualization. You are very good at analyzing your own problems. You can talk about your depression or your anxiety like a scientist observing a lab rat. You say, "I am feeling this way because of X, Y, and Z." You think that by understanding the pain, you have solved it. But explaining a feeling is not the same as feeling it. You can write a dissertation on your own grief and still be drowning in it. You use your intelligence to avoid the messy, raw, uncontrollable experience of emotion. You are terrified of losing control. You believe that if you let yourself cry, really cry, you might never stop. You view your emotions as a flood that will wash away everything you have built. So you build dams. You build walls. You stay busy, constantly moving, constantly achieving. Productivity is a great place to hide. If you are working 80 hours a week, you don't have time to feel lonely. If you are constantly fixing other people's lives, you don't have to look at your own. You become the therapist friend. You attract people who are broken because their chaos distracts you from your own void. You pour all your energy into saving them. It makes you feel useful. It makes you feel worthy. But it also keeps you safely in the position of the helper, never the helped. To ask for help feels like a violation of your identity. You are the one who gives, not the one who takes. The idea of calling a friend and saying, "I am not okay," makes your skin crawl. You project a feeling onto them that they would be burdened by you. You think, everyone has their own problems. Why should I add mine to the pile? This is a distortion known as perceived burdensomeness. You underestimate how much people love you, and you overestimate how fragile they are. You treat your friends like they are made of glass, and you treat yourself like you are made of steel. But you are not made of steel. You are human, and humans are designed to share weight. The cost of this hiding is a profound, aching loneliness. You can be surrounded by people who love you and still feel completely alone, because they love the mask, not the person underneath it. They love the version of you that is easy and fun and strong. You haven't given them the chance to love the version of you that is weak and messy and scared. You are starving for connection, but you are wearing armor that keeps everyone at a distance. It is a glass wall. You can see them and they can see you, but you cannot touch. And the longer you hide, the harder it becomes to tell the truth. The lie has become too big. You have been fine for so long that admitting you are not fine feels like admitting you are a fraud. You feel like an imposter in your own life. You look at photos of yourself smiling at parties and you think, who is that person? There is a dissonance between your internal reality and your external presentation. This dissonance creates a constant, low-level anxiety. You are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You are always afraid that one day the cracks will show. And eventually, they always do. You cannot hold a beach ball underwater forever. Eventually, your arms get tired. The pain you are hiding will find a way out. It might come out as a sudden explosion of anger over something small. It might come out as a complete physical collapse or burnout. Or it might come out as a numbing detachment where you simply stop caring about anything at all. This is the danger point. When you suppress pain, you also suppress joy. You cannot selectively numb emotions. If you numb the sadness, you also numb the happiness. Your life becomes grey. You go through the motions, eating, sleeping, working, talking. But you feel like a ghost haunting your own machinery. So, how do we begin to dismantle the fortress? It starts with a terrifying realization. Your pain is valid. You have spent a lifetime minimizing it, telling yourself it could be worse, telling yourself, I shouldn't feel this way. But feelings are not logical. They do not follow the rules of should or should not. Your pain exists, and it deserves to be witnessed. You do not need a tragic backstory to justify your hurt. You do not need a catastrophic event to earn the right to grieve. Being human is reason enough. The next step is to find one small place where you can drop the mask. You do not have to announce your pain to the world. You do not have to post it on social media. You just need one safe harbour. One person, one journal, one therapist, one empty room where you can say the words, "I am hurting." It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel counterintuitive. Your brain will scream at you to stop, to protect yourself, to put the armour back on. But you must breathe through that instinct. You must learn that vulnerability is not the same as weakness. Vulnerability is the most accurate measure of courage. It takes no effort to hide. Hiding is a reflex. It takes immense bravery to be seen. When you finally let someone see your pain, a strange thing happens. The world does not end. The person does not run away. Usually they lean in. Usually they say, "Me too." Because the truth is, everyone is hiding something. Everyone is carrying a weight they think is too heavy to share. When you drop your mask, you give permission for others to drop theirs. You create a space of real connection, not just superficial interaction. You find that you are loved not in spite of your cracks, but because of them. It is the cracks that let the light in. But this process is slow. You have to be patient with yourself. You are unlearning decades of survival training. You will have days where you hide again. You will have days where the wall goes back up. That is okay. Healing is not a straight line. It is a spiral. You just need to keep coming back to the truth. You need to forgive the version of you that felt the need to hide. That child inside you was trying to survive. That child was doing the best they could with the tools they had. Thank them for protecting you. Thank the mask for keeping you safe when you were vulnerable. But tell yourself gently that the war is over. You do not need the heavy armour anymore. You are an adult now, and you have the capacity to handle your feelings. You have the capacity to set boundaries. You have the capacity to say no. You have the capacity to be messy and still be worthy of love. Imagine what it would feel like to put the weight down. Imagine walking into a room and not having to perform. Imagine crying without apologizing for the tears. Imagine being tired and simply saying, "I am tired," without an excuse. It feels dangerous, I know, but it is the only way to be free. You have spent so long protecting your heart that you have put it in a prison. It is time to unlock the door. It is time to let the air in. The pain will not destroy you. In fact, feeling the pain is the only way to release it. Tears are a mechanism of release. They are literally cortisol leaving the body. Let them fall. Let the facade crumble. You are beautiful, not because you are perfect, but because you are real. The people who matter want to know you, not the actor, not the fixer, not the soldier, just you, with all your scars and all your shadows and all your unspoken words. You are enough, exactly as you are. You do not need to earn your place in the world by being unbreakable. You are allowed to break, and you are allowed to heal. So tonight, maybe you can take off the costume. Maybe you can look in the mirror and see the sadness without looking away. Maybe you can whisper to the reflection, "I see you." It is a small start, but it is the beginning of coming home to yourself. You have been gone for a long time. Welcome back.